Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today we're going to do a deep dive into Ator, similar to the video I did with Omi. There's been some FUD surrounding Ator recently, some screenshots coming out of Discord and places like that. We're going to dive into the information that I can find out there to see, is this FUD legit? Is this FUD, or is it something to be legitimately concerned about? You know, I had Ator as number 9 on my small cap video, and I did post the other day I was selling all my Ator. I think it was Thursday morning when it was at a price of 220, and I got a lot of messages and DMs about it, and it gave me the idea to do this video and to take a deeper look into it. So if you're into Ator and you have a big bag, I promise I'm not trying to FUD your bags. I certainly don't have the kind of following or influence to impact the price of a $150 million market cap project. But if you are in the project, I would encourage you to watch the video unbiasedly. I'm going to talk about Ator's responses at the end. So I'm going to talk about all those things, talk about all these points all in one place. So at the end, you may find that nothing at all is concerning, and you can use it as rebuttal to people who think it is concerning, or think that something concerning is going on with Ator. Be your own judge at the end of the video. And I'd like to thank everyone who helped me with the research for this video. We did a pretty deep dive, and I want to thank everyone who helped me with that.
All right, great place to start with any crypto project can be a Medium article, and this was written in late May. I believe the token came out close to the end of March. So Ator Protocol is a project that solves those aforementioned problems by, and there's a write-up above this, but this is where it kind of gets down to the meat and potatoes, providing economic incentives for Tor contributors. Ator rewards people who host relay nodes with Ator tokens. Similar concept with crypto projects, nothing new there. They aim to sell physical relays and routers to ease the cost of running nodes and ease users into the process without requiring much technical knowledge. Sounds good as well. They reward relay nodes with Ator for bandwidth through a process called proof of uptime. So all this sounds positive to Tor to me, and I am not a Tor expert. I mean, I know what it is. I used Tor for the first time in I think 2010, but I haven't used it in several years. But I'm no Tor expert, but I know more than probably the average person. And they do say right here on the Medium article, there point you should also know, Ator protocol is not a subsidiary of Tor. It is not endorsed by Tor. Ator's team opinions or views are not a direct reflection of the Tor team. So they have not tried to hide the fact. It's right here on the Medium article about it. If we go to the coin market cap write-up, just see what it says up there for some further info. Ator empowers Tor on-chain incentives. It all looks positive here as well, similar to what you read over there. And it's designed for Tor routing and immediate interoperability with Ator proof of uptime framework. I mean, all this stuff sounds good. I mean, I think that we need as many tools as we can to fight censorship. I'm a big privacy, anti-censorship person, so all this stuff looked good. Now, back to the Medium article, and this is what a lot of FUD surrounds now, but, going back to this where it's not endorsed by Tor, well, knowing that I do know a little something about Tor, this is what I was thinking. Tor is the Onion router is a free open source software. So to my understanding, anybody can use Tor for whatever. So I'm kind of thinking, well, it's a decentralized open source network. So I guess you can just use it for whatever. So now this is where some things that I haven't seen on Twitter or anything like that. This is some things that I found doing my own research or whatever. So this is from Tor's blog on their website back from March 16th. Dear Tor community, maybe the notes from the Tor Relay Operator meetup on March 4th should have mentioned that a participant called Ator was kicked from that BBB conference. This happened because they were using Tor in their name and continued to make dubious offers like the one below, which just arrived in my NGO's inbox. They did not send it to the email address in the contact info of the Tor relays, but a generic one. In BBB's text chat, they offered to change their name if that's best, but as you can see, they have not instead. Instead, they signed as Ator. Maybe that's a typo. I'm writing this to let you know that it's best to ignore emails like this one. In the meetup Roger made, it's increasingly clear he does not believe that Ator are acting in good faith. And then somebody said under that, personally, I say kill it with fire. I don't know what that means, but, once again, I'm not a Tor expert, but it seemed like from the start that Tor was very much against the project. So we hop over. This is I searched Tor's Twitter page and found some things. So they post constantly that they're not affiliated with the project. This is not news to anybody. We know they're not affiliated, but it's not just that they're not affiliated. I mean, we do not recommend you purchasing specific hardware, virtual tokens, cryptocurrency. I mean, they're like they. It's different from not being affiliated and from them straight discouraging you about it. But like we said, it's an open source project, right? So. And then some of the other things I want to point out from bookmarks, and we're going to talk about some of this stuff a little bit later. They're still posting it, and here this is from 2015, where they have an MIT paper saying that it opposes crypto backdoors. I mean, you have to think Tor is where crypto was basically born. I mean, they have posts, and this is just going back to 2011. They have stuff about crypto on Tor, so it's not anything that. The crypto and Tor, it certainly is not a new concept. So we hop back over to the blog page on Tor to see what this kind of state of union is over there currently. There's a post about some kind of spike in onion related service traffic, and this person said that it could have to do something with a project named Ator, and their activity seemed a little bit concerning. So with some of this stuff, like some of the tweets early on, from the Twitter page and comments up here that seemed negative, you would hope to see that, like, well, as it got implemented, well, it was supposed to help Tor and that they would open up to it and that everything would be okay. But see, this was 26 days ago. And by the way, while we're over here looking at this page, if you want to see the email that Ator wrote, I honestly didn't think anything that the guy referred to up here, the dubious email. This is the email because he posted it in the chat. Hello from Ator. We are a community-driven initiative that provides recognition rewards to supporters and operators in the Tor ecosystem. We would love to recognize your efforts and the efforts of your relay operators and hear your opinions on the protocol we have in mind. Please let us know if this is something of interest to you. We would also like to donate to help your operation and grow and remain active. Thank you for your time. We hope to hear from you soon. So I actually didn't think that. I don't know what kind of emails these guys get. I'm sure they get emails all the time, but I didn't think there was anything inherently shady within this email. But once again, I'm not a Tor expert. I don't know what may be considered dubious or whatever, but that is the email that the guy was referring to. So one issue that had come up over the last couple of weeks, I saw that I guess the people that were using the Ator relays, certain information was getting doxed from them, like usernames, IP addresses, email addresses. It's a new project, still in testnet, but it's still worth pointing out. Not a good look for a privacy project. So just want to point this out. It's an early issue that had been arising, and I'll block this out because I don't want to dox the people any further. And maybe people that know more about Tor know more about that kind of stuff. But for me, as somebody investing in a crypto privacy project, not a good look. Hard to see screenshots circulate like this where people are saying that their email addresses and wallets are being targeted daily. I'm not exactly sure all the info, what he's talking about being targeted, but once again, not a good look for a privacy project. So then we start to see some screenshots like this surface. Hi, I've just received an email from Tor project. They are banning all relays with Ator string in the contact info. Now my relay is off and it will not be permitted to rejoin the Tor network as long as it's associated with Ator. Ator's response: greetings, it appears that you have received an email from the esteemed Tor project bearing news of a ban on relays adorned with Ator string in their contact info. Alas, this has led to a temporary cessation of your relay operations, rendering it unable to partake in the Tor network until such a time as its affiliation with Ator is severed. A most unfortunate turn of events indeed. Fear not, I shall assist you in navigating this predicament. Pray tell that, of course, your action you wish to pursue. And there's more of this circulating. They were doing an AMA, people commenting under it, and things like that. So this one, to this point, you're kind of thinking, well, it's open source. What can Tor do? And from looking at this to a little bit more, I see that I gather that people said this happened in May. So some people are looking at it as like it's not a big deal because it happened in May. For me, if I was somebody investing in Ator, I would look at it as a big deal, like ongoing issues with the Tor team on the platform that you're trying to build the protocol on. And once again, like I pointed out, it is open supposedly open source. But now when I start seeing this, that's when I start to really have pause about some of the issues going on. And if you're an Ator holder, I'm going to talk about the responses from Ator, but we're just going to go over all this first. We can't have the response until we talk about the screenshots that are out there. Things, I mean, they have to be a little bit concerning when you're having problems with on the protocol that you're trying to build your project on. But they had an AMA coming up, so cool. So I actually didn't tune in. I had something else to do, but one of my associates did and said that they didn't talk about it, and then even saw there was some questions like this that they didn't answer in the AMA. Supposedly just talked about marketing and things like that. Then I'd seen some screenshots like this where people were asking on Telegram what was the deal, and that supposedly the comments were being deleted. Somebody said they got kicked out of Discord for asking about it. Somebody who said they were asking about Telegram said that this happened. I went to the Telegram page myself, and now the comments were not getting deleted that were asking about it. So I think if that was happening, maybe it happened when the issue first happened. But as time went on, I think a lot of people were asking about the issue was coming up, and I'm going to go over what they said about the responses. So like I told everyone that's pro Ator that we're going to go over the responses, but we can't respond to things that we haven't brought up. So, some of these things, being in the crypto space, no matter how much you love a project, you cannot say that they're not concerning when you have an issue with, I mean, I know we talked about it as open source, but it seems like, Tor can do something about it, and you're building your protocol on that. And then you start to see they're actually doing something and blocking relays. And then you start to see, like, are they trying to push this issue down? So then this tweet, I guess, caused a lot of commotion or something. This person right here tweeting this, and it, according to his Twitter page, his community team lead at the Tor project, we're going to talk about what Tor said about this when I went over to the Telegram group. But that's who he says he is on his Twitter, and you can go search his Twitter as well, and you see lots of other posts like this. I mean, he said, this is your friendly reminder. Tor is not affiliated with Ator. We do not recommend you purchase specific hardware tokens or cryptocurrency to support the Tor project. Once again, we have to go over all these things to respond to them. So this is just another thing to look at, that this tweet definitely seemed to cause quite a bit of commotion, and where a lot of this stuff started to first start popping off. So I'm not sure what all this is here. Recently, we identified some operators associated with a high-risk for-profit scheme. This financial scheme is promising monetary gains with cryptocurrency tokens and is operated by third parties without an endorsement or approval of the Tor project. Apart from instances in which these relays did not meet our requirements, such financial schemes present a significant threat to the network's integrity and the reputation of our project, and cannot attract individuals with malicious intent to disrupt the volunteer-driven spirit that sustains the Tor community. Your relays will not be permitted to rejoin the Tor network as long as they are associated with Ator or a similar scheme. So, and I didn't put block this person's name out, because I guess they're a person with the Tor project, and if I block their name out, then it's not showing that they're anybody of any relevance. It could have just been anybody saying it. And this was a response about ensuring the integrity, since the Ator nodes, mail, and ETH addresses have been subject to many scam attempts. So the Ator team are doing the same and are going to make some adjustments as mentioned in the announcements. And we are going to talk about some of the Ator responses now. Okay, now we're going to look at some of Ator's responses to some of these issues. So this was on Discord, I believe. As a precaution following misconfigured or potentially malicious activity by a small subset of Ator register relays, Ator relay bandwidth have been paused. This reflects the abundance of caution approach we have seen thus far and mirrors a very similar event in May. All relays were reinstated within a few days. And then, I don't really want to read over the whole thing, but they address it and say that basically they're this is part of a growing pains, and this is what they're trying to do something about it. Then one on posted, we've established a direct line of communication with the Tor project, which is great, and I believe that's what some of the communication in the tweet I just referenced, there was some back and forth between that, I believe, if they really had or not. But this is what they're saying, that they've established a direct line of contact. And I'm not doubting that. I'm not saying this person isn't telling the truth, but given that they've had issues from the start, from the Tor blog, and I'm sure the people on the blog don't represent the whole project, but on the information that's available to me, it seems like it has been very, not a good relationship since the start. So the fact that they just now started a line of communication after this issue, and I'm not saying it's not true, but and then this is the fix. So that they have this fix that they say basically you take Ator off of the address, and that it's supposed to work. So and we'll talk about that in a minute. And this is kind of like I guess State of the Union. This is the current situation. Tor cannot stop you from running relays. You can just change IP and change fingerprint and remove wallet. Email them. Simple. Tor shortly will not be able to see if your relays are aligned with Ator with the solution we have. But before we do this, we want open discussion. Ideally, we want Tor team members to integrate with Ator. This will help us ensure we abide by their network requirements, and we can help them facilitate growth of their network. We want Tor on our side, as they stand for the same things we do, and they are aligned with our community. We're all tech enthusiasts, and our goals are privacy and anonymity. And that sounds pretty good. It kind of sounds like they're saying that Tor can't stop them if that's what they want to do, and they're gonna integrate themselves in the network. That Tor can't stop them. That's what I kind of get out of that. And I saw some other communication that kind of referring to that. Now on their Twitter page, if you search relay issue, only one tweet comes up. So I haven't seen them post out anything on their Twitter page, which to me personally is a bit concerning. And I'm going to talk about their Telegram here in just a second, what they said on there. So they have been putting information out on Discord and Telegram, but the main megaphone, Twitter, they seem to be pretty quiet about the issue there. All right, so this is what they say on the Telegram. Like I said earlier, there were some reports that things were getting deleted on here. When I came here, there were people talking about it. So if it was getting deleted earlier on, then it's not now. A community volunteer mod for Tor, that's the person that we referred to a minute ago, and you saw his Twitter page. A community volunteer mod for Tor network flagged a small set of relays as rejected and sent an email detailing his opinion on why. This issue has since been resolved with Tor senior leadership. Any relays affected can be updated and be back online. Tor is an open source protocol, which we've been saying this whole video. Ator aims to support its goals and missions, and we are not affiliated with Tor, and have said this since day one. Emails and FUDs, anything that says advocate up here. I guess they have some kind of, I don't say they're like a mod in the Telegram group, I guess. The emails and FUD tweets were from a dev, for a mod in Tor, not a dev. He has since deleted the tweets, all the same person. He just deleted everything he said. He was a mod, not a core member. The guy just wanted a good entry. He got one and deletes everything. This is kind of some of the general talk I was seeing here. I try to block everyone's name out. I don't want anybody to think I'm being malicious. The intent of this isn't to be malicious or FUD the project. This is why we are running a test net to discover teething issues, which I brought up on the video as well. Teams in direct contact with Tor, I'm assuming to come up with a mutual solution. Tor is understandably very cautious. Who will ban wallets? And it's talking about how the person deleted their comments more, and just more talk about that. But then people are saying he didn't delete his tweets or whatever. So I don't know, but that's what their Telegram response is in any event. So then we're going to get into some of the rebuttals of the rebuttals. So this is from the Tor site, and it's from about the network, the number of relays. So you see I have from the day when the relays got taken down to my knowledge, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was all the Ator relays that got banned. That from all the communication I've seen, that seems to be accurate. And you see there was not that much of a drop according to this. And also I've heard from people that rebutted about the the Ator fix that Tor could simply tag the wallets associated with it and still ban them that way. And I don't know if that, like I said, I'm not a Tor expert, but it just seems like a lot of pissing back and forth going on, a little too much for my liking. But you can take this graph, with a grain of salt or however you want to look at it. But this is information. This is online. You can do it yourself. You can go here and see how the relays are affecting the system yourself. Still on the Tor site, this is the relays with Ator. So I don't have a screenshot showing this, but I think it was yesterday or the day before I looked, and it was like 1,040. So if they're doing the fix just to get them back up, then either not many people are doing it or it's not working. And I'm not saying it's not working. I think I have seen people write that they did it and it worked, I think, but if they had a little bit over 1,000 and they've had the fix and the people's stuff aren't working, then why isn't their stuff? They shouldn't still be here. And this is, like I said, you can go look this yourself. Then I want to address one more thing that I've seen floating around out there, that the Ator hardware is no more than, it's not even a Raspberry Pi 4. It's just they take these and upfit them a little bit. These are $35. I don't know what the Ator hardware is. I don't care. This doesn't really matter to me too much. This is just another point that I wanted to address. They are very similar specs, but they are not the exact same. And I guess the point that people are trying to prove with this is that all they're doing is buying these processors in bulk and shipping them out and then telling you connect them to Tor, and there you go, there's a crypto project, saying like there wasn't any real tech in it. And anybody from the Ator team watching the video, I'm not accusing you of that. I'm sure you've worked very hard and you guys are a lot smarter than me at such things. I'm just a guy that trades crypto. I said we took a very deep look into it. We even looked into the blockchain analytics to see if it had any kind of signs of a rug. We read the white paper. This is how their tokenomics are allocated. And it is not a rug, or at least it's not a traditional one. I mean, everything added up. I'll say that. All this stuff on chain added up 100%. They most likely have a dev that has a decent wallet, but nothing crazy, nothing big to dump the price at all. They do have one whale in it who is a freaking Chad. This guy's like a meme coin whale, and he's a player in the market for sure. He knows what he's doing out there. He's their biggest holder, it appears, and he doesn't have enough anything to dump the price. Nothing concerning on chain. If it is some kind of elaborate rug, then it's certainly not set up the way that rugs have been in the past for this. Nothing weird with the token allocation. Everything's where it's supposed to be. And even the relay, if it was some kind of rug, the relay wallets and all that stuff, that would have been a great place to try to do something fishy. Everything adds up on chain. So another thing I just want to touch on when talking about Tor real quick is, who made Tor? And Tor was developed by the U.S. government in the mid-90s, the United States Naval Research Laboratory. And to this day, the United States government funds 53% of it. And they have some pretty strong partners, the United States government, DARPA, National Science Foundation via Georgetown, this Zcash, which I thought was interesting that they were partnered with a crypto project. And just kind of feel like if they wanted to have a crypto project, they would already have one. But the main point of showing this is, and it's not a debate of saying that Tor is run by the government and that it's not really secure or anything like that, but when push comes to shove, is the government the one that would have the final say in the network if Ator tried to take over the network? Because that's what some of their responses seem like they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. And like I said, I'm not a Tor expert, not trying to sound like a broken record, but is that something where the United States government could come and step in potentially if they try to take over the network, seeing it's funded 53% by them? They obviously have an interest in it. And one thing I want to do, I do want to look on Ator on chart a little bit. That's what I'm strongest at, technical analysis. And this has been one of the strongest projects in crypto. It has just been one of those that has been a flagship pump that since all this kind of thing started, and it has just really done well ever since it came out. It has just been nothing but up. Does that mean that it has to come down and have a pullback? No, it actually doesn't. If it's at the right market time, it can keep going up. But starting to get a lot, and this is aside from all the fundamentals we just talked about. You're getting wicks coming down. This is the weekly. pretty long wick here, kind of like a sell climax. If you take a quicker look into the daily, that's not the that's a reversal pattern. That's not the best thing that you want to see. But with something with a strong trend this strong, retail, they're always scared of V-shaped reversals. They always think it's going to go up and then go straight down or whatever. And V-shaped reversals normally don't happen. But you could start to see it lose strength here. And this is just from a technical standpoint, and not saying that it's going to fall right off. You're getting wick rejection. It's kind of like a sell climax. It's been hot for a long time. I generally don't use indicators, but let's look and see what it is on the RSI on the weekly. So it's getting close to 90, and that can be a sign when things are close to 90 on the RSI on higher time frames, then that they're really overheated. Yeah, so that's just kind of how I'm seeing it technically. Not gonna get into a whole lot here. It's because it's been an uptrend. It's been great, and typically things don't go straight from uptrend to downtrend. So I wouldn't expect to see that, even if some of these things get out there and they are legitimate. They're not just FUD, that they're legit. I still don't think the project is going to crash and go to zero from a technical standpoint anyway. On chart, it's not the worst thing, but aside from all this fundamental stuff, it is starting to look a little overheated to me. Touching on the technical analysis, when you talk about something that comes out strong and it just goes up for a long time, it doesn't mean it goes up forever. And I did want to touch on Skycoin, because I've heard Skycoin talked about in relation to Ator, because it's an older project, and you see it's like a dead project. And okay, it did not use Tor in any way, shape, or form. Full stop. So I'm not trying to make this a direct comparison to Skytorm. They use the same idea, using hardware to try to decentralize internet use, and you see it wasn't very successful. So some people have pointed to that. So the only reason I'm bringing this Skycoin chart up is for some people that may have got a taste of like really super good gains with Ator, and then they're just all in. Do what you want at the end of the day with your funds, but I don't recommend going all in on any project. Go too hard, no matter how promising it is. You can go through all kinds of good promising projects, crypto, stock, whatever, that just never panned out. So, be aware that somebody has tried something similar to this before. It didn't work out. If you weren't aware of that, once again, I'm not trying to say that Ator is Skycoin 2.0, but just be aware of such things. And there's something that I want to address, because if anybody took this video as FUD, that they'll say, well, look at his page and he likes Masq a lot and he's just a Masq person and whatever. And so I want to address that right now, because I did this video, this small cap video, and I had Ator at number 9, and I did have Masq higher. I had Masq up in the top 5. But that has nothing to do with it. If you know how I do my investments and play this game, I'm not overexposed to any one thing, that if Ator or Masq had crashed to the ground, that I would lose anything that would keep me up at night, or if I'm reliant on any one thing to go to the moon. I diversify my stuff, and I am a big advocate for all these projects. I hope that Ator can get these things worked out with Tor, and that the project gets back on track. I was invested in both of them. I did have more Masq. I had about 20% the position of Ator as I did in Masq, and Masq still went up triple digits. I'm happy with anything with a triple digit gain, and I think I started getting Ator at about a $20 million market cap. I cashed out of Ator with about a 600 to 700% gain, so I'm totally fine. So if the project does good from here, great. I don't feel like I missed out. I made a good gain out of it, rolled it into some other things that I was looking at anyway. So you can both win. or whatever. And to some of the points of what I've been talking about all the time, because I'd seen this kind of Masq versus Ator narrative develop on Twitter, and I always threw cold water. It was October 25th, somebody talking about it, how did they stack up? And I said, I don't really look at them as competitors, and I do surprised that Masq isn't as mentioned as much, and that has because it got a smaller market cap. At this time, Ator was not really a small cap anymore. And this is a pro Masq post, where somebody's showing how Masq is superior to network, is superior to Tor anyway. And I said I don't look at them competitors, just both in the privacy space. Here again, I don't see them as competitors, just in the privacy space. Like, there's enough to go around. I honestly looked at it as a big positive, the strength that Ator was showing, to show that the privacy sector had that kind of strength. There's enough meat on the bone for all of us out here in this crypto market at the end of the day. So in no way is this a to promote Masq over Ator. Yes, I've been doing this video using the Masq browser, but that's the browser I generally use to do my videos. So, if this is in no way to convince people to sell out of Ator and go into Masq. Yes, I do support Masq. I do like the project. Please watch my small cat video, and I'll talk about Ator and Masq in both of them, and you can see why I like Masq. So just want to say it one more time. This is in no way a bias, FUD video to promote Masq and down Ator. I mean, everything that's here, I put the points together, and you can take them however you want.
So, in conclusion, that's everything that I could find and uncover about Ator. Me personally, for myself, I'm glad that I sold at 220, and I'm not looking to currently get back into the project. But I do definitely wish them the best, and I hope they get these issues ironed out, and that Tor endorses them, and that it becomes a viable project. Hey, I would probably be a user, if not an investor. I support any project that fights government censorship and data harvesting and all these things. So I'm not pulling for Ator to fail by any means, but these are some legit concerns that were brought up, and I think it's fair to look at them, and I also think it's fair to be concerned about the lack of, the Twitter is not really addressing it, not in the AMA. They are addressing it on Twitter and Discord, Telegram and Discord, like I said. So if anybody in the Ator community watch this video and you think it's like FUD and I'm trying to FUD your bags, I just ask you, please don't take it that way. You need to be honest with yourself. I do not have the kind of reach or influence in any way, shape, or form to affect the price of a $150 million market cap project. So this video is not going to affect the price of Ator. I promise you that. If you believe in the team, then hey, I went over the rebuttals and everything like that, so you can send it to people as a response to some of these points. If you believe in the project, you believe in the team, then stay with it. I'm just a guy that trades crypto at the end of the day. So anyway, I hope it's not too harshly received by the Ator community, and that it's received for what it is, and just a deep dive into the project and a look into some of these issues that are floating around out there. So thanks for everybody tuning in to the end, and later.